Hey guys, welcome back to the Prescription to Travel MD podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Courtney Downes. And if we haven't met before, thanks for joining us today. I am an emergency medicine doctor who loves travel, loves that there are so many creative ways to increase opportunities for travel. And I've made it my mission to encourage others to take time off to rest and really just explore the world around them, build relationships with people and with yourself, and find ways to decrease and prevent burnout. Really just enjoy the life that's in front of you. So, on today's episode, I'm joined by two incredible women, Dr. Manpreet Samra and Dr. Paula. They are the powerhouse duo behind Trifecta MD. What started as a community to really empower women in medicine has become a community that's designed to empower women professionals across the board, really just creating a space for connection and growth and support that I'm so proud to be a part of. We are going to dive into their vision for helping women really just create more time freedom in their lives. And we're going to talk about the upcoming retreat that they have that's going to be featuring horse therapy. It's an experience that's not only unique, but truly transformative. If you've ever wondered how community, intentional living, and a little time with horses could change your life, you're going to want to lean in for this conversation. So let's get started. So I'm really excited to have you both here with us today. Can you start by telling us a little bit about yourselves? Who are you? Why should people want to know about you? And who is Trifecta MD?
Oh my God, yes. Thank you for having us, Courtney. So exciting to be here. So my name is Manpreet Samra. I am the co-founder of Trifecta MD. Trifecta MD was basically born out of this combined passion that Paula and I share in empowering other women physicians. And we realized that the foundation of that lies in building wealth and defining wealth and in designing our own lives. I myself live in Chicago. I'm a mom to two kiddos. They're 8 and 4. I'm a transplant nephrologist by training, and I've recently also launched Teletransplant, which is a telehealth company providing transplant nephrology services to various programs. And I'm very passionate about finance and points, and that's why I love listening to your podcast. And I'll give it over to Paula.
Thank you, Courtney. It's so wonderful to be here. So I am a teleradiologist, and I have transitioned to doing teleradiology in the last 2 years. I no longer do in-person hospital work, or very little of it if I do. And it really has given me a lot of freedom. I started Trifecta MD with Manpreet because what I was noticing was that a lot of women physicians were very worried about their futures. They were worried about the legacy that they would leave behind. They were worried they didn't have enough. And honestly, the ability to leave a legacy stems from the access to deals, right? It stems from access to having the education that you need to be able to save, to plan, and to decide where you're going to allocate your money. Number one. And number two, it starts with just having access. We as women physicians just don't have enough access. We didn't have enough access. And so Manpreet and I decided to start Trifecta MD to kind of solve all of those problems, which is number one, to teach women about finance and to make it less daunting. People were really afraid about finances. And number two, to just bring deals to people of all kinds, passive income deals, so people can do their jobs, they can live their lives, and they could put their money in all kinds of buckets and then have their money grow. And at the end, they can take it out and then, retire nicely.
And I'll just add one more thing that another focus of Trifectas is actually angel investing. So we've been bringing a lot of deals, especially within healthcare, so that's within our expertise, to invest in companies, especially that are women and minority led.
Okay, good deal. So you guys have a growing community. How do people actually get involved in these deals that you're bringing in, working towards achieving this life of financial freedom and ability to do all these things that you guys are both really just embodying?
Well, there are two ways. We have a Facebook group called Trifecta MD, and it's open to all women professionals, so anyone can join. And once you join, you give us your email, and then we have a newsletter which goes out about once a month, and you can learn about everything that we have on those newsletters. We also have a really nice repository of all the webinars we've had over the last year and a half, and those are very educational. So people, when they join, they have access to those, and they can go back and learn everything that we've had. We've had a nice breadth of interviewees, and Everyone has been absolutely amazing. People really love our webinars. They're so informative, and all our guests are just top of their game. We even have a series called Health is Wealth. That series included a perimenopause and menopause webinar from Dr. Shiva Gofrani, and it was a hoot. She was an absolute hoot. People love that series. So just come to the Facebook group, join, and then you can then have access to us. Alternatively, you can go to our website, trifectamd.com, and sign up that way.
So I love that you both are about really just empowering women and encouraging us to take the steps to get towards financial freedom. But you're also really big on incorporating rest and doing things that avoid burnout. And you have a retreat that's coming up. Is that right?
Right. So we have an Equus retreat that we have specifically curated for women professionals. And it's led by the world renowned Coelle Simpson, who is a famous coach in the Equus world. She's been doing this for over 20 years. And once you meet her, you feel like just this like gentle, nurturing hug. And so we've created this Equus retreat. It's October 16th to the 19th, 2025. It's in Tucson, Arizona. And the whole premise is just to come to heal. And, if there's any trauma that you've been dealing with in the past, horses have this intuitive sense that just helps you heal. It's like this ultimate healing retreat.
Yes. I feel Manpreet sentiments that Coel is such a nurturing, soft presence in your life. And also, people have asked if horse riding is involved, and there's absolutely no horse riding involved. You're just with the horses themselves. And the horses, I like to say, the horses don't lie. They tell you exactly what you need to know. Last month I went and visited the ranch, and it is this beautiful 100-acre ranch in Tucson. The buildings are just beautiful. She has a 100-year-old barn that has been redone and restored. And it's a wonderful place for us to hold yoga as well as healing sound bath sessions. It's just a place that you can go and just heal. And so that's why we think it'd be great for everyone who needs a little rest and who needs a little break and who needs to come and kind of finally let go of whatever's been holding them back, to just come and like face it and kind of let go and leave feeling refreshed and renewed.
Okay. So is the retreat open to anyone?
Yeah. So it's open to all women. And we hope for it to be a transformative experience for those women who attend. And we really hope that this will be just further personal growth, especially in their interactions with the horses and being led by Coel.
Okay, so it's open to all women, not just physicians. And if there are women physicians who are coming, is there CME involved?
Yes.
Good deal. I know CME can be a way to actually find a reason to go to some of these events. So I think that's important to point out, and it can also help with offsetting some of the financial costs if it's a CME trip and your employer is able to reimburse you. Even if they're not able to reimburse you, maybe you're self-employed, but it may be considered a personal development write-off because there's some education component to it. So, and what can people expect when they get there? Like, take me through a day of your retreat?
You will get there Thursday evening, and we will be welcomed by TJ, who is the owner of the Apache Springs Ranch that Paula met last month. They will be having dining for us. There will be a chef that will be making fresh food for us on that night. So we'll have welcome reception. Friday morning, we'll have a nourishing breakfast, again, specially prepared for our retreat goers. And in the morning, there will also be yoga. Courtney, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a certified yoga teacher. And so I will be leading the yoga in the morning, and that'll be followed by breakfast. There'll be opportunities to hike if anybody wants to do that. The surroundings will be beautiful, and the fall was just going to be gorgeous in Arizona. And then around 9 o'clock, we will start where Coel will do two types of coaching. So there'll be group coaching with the horses, and she will lead that with all of us present. And then there will break for lunch. And then in the afternoon, there's actually going to be one-on-one personal coaching as well for, anything personal that you may not want to bring up in a large group space. And the evenings will be open. Paula and I are are still figuring out all the fun details of the evening, whether those will be just sitting in the hot tub, relaxing, having conversations with the other women present, going hiking, or having sound bowl presentations.
Also, I need to add that on Friday evening, we have the drummer from Miraval, Tucson, who's going to be there. And this guy's from Trinidad, actually. He's the real deal. His name is Richard Noel, and he is the happiest guy on the face of the earth. Like whenever people meet him, they're like, "I wonder what he's having," because he has an amazing presence and an amazing life, and just he's so positive. So he's going to be coming over to drum with us, and it's the drumming is so cathartic. It really brings you joy, and it just helps you just process everything. It's just sort of like a way to tie everything together at the end of the day, and then to just kind of release it all and just have some joy to enter the weekend with.
Well, I think that all sounds wonderful. Is this something that you have experienced before as a participant in the retreat, or have you planned a retreat like this before?
I have done a retreat before, and this was for breast cancer survivors, as I'm a breast cancer survivor. And this was a few years ago. I've personally have been wanting to do an Equus retreat for a very long time, and to be honest, the cost kind of curtailed me from doing it. The cost was anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000, and so we were able to negotiate everything from Coel being there to this luxurious ranch space for half that price.
Good deal. So what is included in the price that they're paying for this retreat?
So it includes the luxurious accommodations that we'll have at Apache Springs Ranch, the gourmet dining, all meals, everything will be taken care of. And of course, participation in the actual Equus coaching part with, all the reflections that come from there, all the relaxation activities, all the mindfulness practices, the yoga, the nature walk, everything is included. The only thing that's not is your flight there.
Right. Also, we need to add that we will provide transportation to and from the airport because it's quite a bit away from the airport. It's about 45 minutes to an hour away from the airport. So we will provide that transportation so you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is worry about getting yourself to the Tucson airport.
Good deal. Yeah, and it's pretty easy to get to Tucson Airport with like Southwest. Like I know they fly direct from Las Vegas and probably a few other places. So easy to get to. If you've been to Miraval before, it's the same airport that you fly into to get to Miraval. So
We want to ask you one question, Courtney. What credit card would you use to pay for the retreat? Because you're the queen of the credit card points.
and that's a good question. I think if you're paying for a retreat, the first thing is to get a new credit card. So no matter what card you already have, this is a great time to work on a new welcome bonus, right? Because it's a large investment in yourself. And so you're paying for the flights, you're paying for your accommodation. So I guess it depends on what your program actually codes for. But if you don't really get deep into the weeds, getting like a card that's going to code 2 times back on like everything is pretty helpful. If this is going to be a business expense, the Chase Ink business cards are great. And if you don't already have a Chase Ink business card, the Ink Unlimited has like 1.5 times back on everything. So that's a nice catch-all. 0% APR for the first 12 months. So you don't have to pay it off right away. Even though I always say that you should pay off your credit cards right away. But, if you want to take a couple months and do that, you have that option. If you're trying to stay in the Amex realm, there's the Chase Blue, or sorry, not Chase, Amex Blue Business Plus, which will give you like 2 times back on all of your purchases. So you'll get 2 times back on the purchase of your retreat package, 0% interest. It's not going to give you a welcome bonus that's, huge or significant in most cases, but it's an option that will also open up the opportunity for Amex to send you even more offers for Amex Blue Business Plus offers, as I found. So you've got lots of options. If you're using a personal cards, Capital One Venture X will give you 2 times back on everything, so that's a good catch-all. I don't know if your retreat will actually code as travel, and so I wouldn't necessarily try to get a travel card because if you put it on there thinking you're gonna get 3 times back like on your Chase Sapphire Reserve, and then it doesn't code as travel, you're just gonna get 1 times back. So you'll have to come back and tell us what your retreat is actually coding as. Office supplies, okay? Office supplies, 5 times back on the Chase Ink Business Cash. But you've got lots of options, and you can use your points. You can use your Southwest points to book your flight, use your Chase points if you'd like to book your flight in Southwest. Although they often have really good deals, so you may just be able to pay cash and and get there, and again, just use this as a points earning opportunity, so that way you'll book your next trip, right? So I think burnout is a huge problem within medicine, as we all know, which is probably why you guys are now doing telemedicine outside of the hospital, not having to deal with some of the administrative and other things that come with, being in medicine. I think this is probably going to be very useful for physicians or even people who aren't physicians, women who are in medicine or women who are outside of medicine, but also just feeling exhausted and fatigued by, their everyday life. I know we were talking about this being like an Equus retreat, but for someone who's not familiar with equine assisted learning, such as myself, can you explain exactly how it works and why it's so powerful?
So, horses, they have a very intuitive sense, and that helps reveal inner truths without any layer of judgment. And so it's a really unique opportunity for personal reflections, and that eventually leads to healing.
Courtney, TJ, the owner of the ranch, she's also an Equus coach, and she and actually Coel will be sharing a little bit of the coaching, but it'll primarily be done by Coel. And what she's told me is that her ranch, she collaborates with a nonprofit agency for vets, and vets who have severe PTSD come for 7-day retreats there. And some of the most severely affected people, they come, and I mean, even though we're talking about our retreat is focused on women, the results should effectively be similar. These vets come for the 7-day retreats, and at the beginning, they're really agitated and they really don't see a way out. And by the end of the 7 days, these people leave feeling healed. So that tells you how powerful equine coaching is. If severely affected PTSD vets can come and leave feeling healed, that's pretty remarkable in my mind.
I agree with that. So what would you say to a physician or anyone who is, struggling to take time off for something like this? Because I know when you're thinking about going on a retreat or doing anything that's considered like self-care, it can seem a little indulgent. And sometimes you can have a little bit of guilt about like leaving behind like whatever responsibilities that are there or, taking time off from work to be able to attend something like this. So what would you say to them?
I would say to them that sometimes you just need pause, and sometimes you don't realize why you need to pause. But once you take the pause, the world will open up to you, and your world will suddenly become clearer, and you'll be able to take actions that you've not been able to take before because you're so consumed with everything and all the little details in your life. And it is really imperative to take rest and to take care of yourself. We as women, we always taking care of everybody else, and then we're the last people to take care of. And it doesn't work like that anymore. I think we need to stop taking care of everyone else first, and we need to start taking care of ourselves first. I mean, people always use the example of being in an airplane and putting on your mask first before putting on everybody else's mask. This is exactly that. Retreat can be that for you. It can be your mask on the plane. Once you get there and you have all your healing and you can re-enter your life with ease, then you can see then you can look at your life more objectively and say, I want to keep this. I want to let this go. I want to keep this. I want to let this go. And then you can kind of curate the life that you want, because wealth isn't just about money. Wealth is also about designing the life that you want, right? And we can't be living the life for other people. We need to start living the lives that we want and that we want to curate. So let this be the opportunity for you to take that pause to be able to do that for your future.
I mean, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? You have to fill your cup and use this as a wellness day. Take a sick day. Everything else will be taken care of, even in your absence, because we're indoctrinated to think we are the ones who have to do this. We always go above and beyond. No, we don't have to do that. And once you realize that and you realize you're worth it, you have to just book it and just come and allow yourself, give this gift to yourself.
Well, you guys are great enablers. And I know this isn't the first retreat that you've attended, and I know you probably have had experiences where you were also kind of on the fence about, like, should I go? Is it gonna be worth it to me? Can I take the time off? Can I leave? And this is kind of off the subject from, like, your own retreat, but I know you guys went to Bora Bora, and I don't know if that was the first retreat that you've been to, but have you had other experiences where you've gone and then or I guess what was the first time you actually went on a retreat where you just felt like, I can do this for myself, and you didn't have any guilt about going?
Bora Bora was the first real retreat I went on. I mean, that was a gasp. Did I really just do that? Did I really just sign up for that? And Bora Bora has been pivotal in my life. I've met the people that I will ride with for the rest of my life. I met Manpreet at Bora Bora and so many other wonderful friends in Bora Bora. So if I didn't make the decision to just bite the bullet and go to Bora Bora, I would still be somewhat in the dark. And I have actually, I've been to several retreats since Bora Bora, and I have never come back from a retreat regretting that I went. Like, I've always learned something from going to a retreat, and I've always met people that, have filled my cup. So there's never a bad retreat, in my estimation.
I was thinking back, I think Bora Bora was the first real retreat I went to as well. That was January, February 2023. And since then, I've probably been to over a dozen retreats, if not more, and agree. Like, I have never come back regretting, oh my gosh, I should never have gone to that retreat. There's always a level of personal growth, professional growth, fulfillment, and connection that comes from these retreats that you don't get in your daily life.
Yeah. And I bring that up because I've since met so many women who went to Bora Bora, and I remember receiving that email, and it must have been, yeah, 2023, you said? And I looked at it, and I was, like, talking to my husband, he's like, "You're gonna do what?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna do." And, I had, like, sticker shock when I realized, like, how much it was gonna cost me, but I was like, "Hey, I wanna go to Bora Bora," you know? And I ended up not going, obviously, and, we crossed paths at later times, but, like, so many people went to that retreat, and I think was it EWP?
Yes, it was an AWP retreat. Yes.
Empowering Women, Physicians Retreat with, Dr. Sunny Smith, who I've also had on the podcast. Like, so many women who went to that retreat and were just, like, completely changed by it, and you don't realize just, like, the profound effect that, like, having in-person retreat experiences can have on you, and I've been to a couple of, like, different events, and, like, and it really is addicting. I think what's addicting about it is, like, the people that you meet who are doing so many empowering things, who are deciding that I'm gonna get out of the rat race, or not necessarily that I'm leaving medicine, that I'm leaving behind the career that I chose, but you can go back and see it differently, and you can see that you have options. It can be a means to an end, but it can also be something that you can still do that can still be fulfilling while you're working on doing other things to, build wealth and create financial freedom and create time freedom within your life. So, not to digress from the retreat that you're on, but just to say that it's so important to really just take care of yourself. It's so important to give yourself these moments, and then just go to one, choose one, go there, and then just allow yourself to be changed and transformed into a better version of you, a more, I shouldn't say better version of you because you're already great no matter where you're starting, but just a different version of you. So thank you both for being here today. Where can people find out more about the retreat and get signed up?
So trifectamd.com is the place where you can go. And then there's an Equus retreat sign up. If you have a friend who wants to go, there is a further discount on the pricing. If in your life you've ever, gone through trauma that you've been processing, perhaps with a therapist, I think this will be a wonderful retreat for you. If you've ever been curious about Equus coaching, this is the time, place, and people to do it with. And if you are looking for just some space in your life, maybe just some white space, like this is, again, the place to be. And we look forward to seeing you there and hosting you.
I also want to add that many people don't think that they've had trauma in their lives, but actually, once they come and they go through Equus coaching, they realize, oh, there have been problems in their lives which have been traumatic. And so you may not think that you've had major big traumas in your life, but actually we all have. We've had traumas of different degrees and different sizes. So I think everybody can benefit from this kind of coaching. Don't just think that you have to have something like major and egregious in your life to be able to attend this retreat.
Yeah. I think it's important that you said that because I know you mentioned, like, veterans and, like, having PTSD and those type of things, and that's what you think about when you think about trauma, like someone who's been, like, in a war, or dealing with, like, abuse or, things that are, like, super traumatic, but we have, like, micro traumas that we experience every day, that you don't even think about that kind of eat away at who you are, and so, yeah, anyone can benefit from an experience like this.
I'm so excited for all the women that have signed up, and we do have a few spots. So I'm hoping that, your listeners, something in our conversation today just like touched their heart and that we'll see them there.
Good deal. And when is the deadline to get signed up for the retreat?
That would be October 15th, as long as spots are open.
As long as spots are available. All right. Well, if you are looking to get signed up, make sure that you're following Trifecta MD in the Facebook group. If you're a woman who is, a professional or a woman who wants to grow your financial freedom, it's not just open to physicians. Although you will find a lot of us in there just by the nature of who we, tend to be around. If you're interested in the retreat, make sure you go to the Trifecta MD website. We'll make sure that we get it posted in the notes so that way you'll know exactly where to get signed up. And if you're looking for a way to get to the retreat or anywhere else using points, make sure you go on to prescriptionandtravelmd.com and book a free consultation. We'll go through and find a plan for you and your family or whoever it may be who's traveling with you to get you to your next destination. All right. We'll see you next time.